Hello everyone and welcome to our weekly wrap-up of news stories that made the headlines. I'm Nicole Cordoves and this is the MB Rundown. The Congress approved on Wednesday President Duterte's request to extend the martial law and suspend the writ of habeas corpus in Mindanao from January 1, 2018 to December 31, 2018. A total of 240 Congress members voted in favor of the martial law extension, while 27 rejected it. The Senate voted 14-4, while House of Representatives voted 226-23 to approve martial law extension. The Malacanang official clarified that they are not seeking unlimited martial law but unlimited peace and stability in the war-torn region. President Duterte first placed the entire Mindanao under martial law for 60 days when he signed Proclamation No. 216 on May 23, 2017 after the Mauta terrorist group laid siege in Marawi City. Before the 60-day period lapsed, the President sought its extension until December 31, 2017, a request granted by Congress after 261 members favored it. But Liberal Party senators and congressmen vehemently opposed the new extension of martial law, saying it is unconstitutional. Senate Minority Leader Franklin Drilon insisted that the extension of martial law until next year does not find basis under the Constitution. He emphasized that under the Constitution, the Congress can extend the proclamation of martial law only when there is actual rebellion, which he said requires actual public uprising and taking arms to overthrow the government. The proposed tax reform for acceleration and inclusion, or better known as TRAIN, is expected to go full steam in creating a more just, simple, and effective system of tax collection once it is signed and brought into law. Both houses of Congress ratified it last Wednesday. TRAIN is the first of 4 tax measures sought by President Duterte. The TRAIN proposes to exempt from income tax Filipinos who receive 250,000 pesos earnings in a taxable year. It also raised to 90,000 pesos the tax exemption for 13th month pay and other bonuses received by salaried workers. Small businesses with a total annual sales of 3 million pesos and below will also be exempted from paying a value-added tax. However, in order to raise foregone revenues due to the tax benefits, the government pursued the TRAIN that would more than cover what will be lost in tax earnings. At the House of Representatives, TRAIN was ratified despite strong objections over quorum. On a quick ayes and nays vote, Deputy Speaker and Representative Raneo Abu declared that there was unanimous approval of the Bicameral Conference Committee report on the TRAIN with only a handful of congressmen present. Senators, on the other hand, voted 16-4 to ratify the proposed TRAIN, which also aims to produce more revenues for the government by raising excise taxes on fuel, sugar-sweetened beverages, and automobile, among others. President Duterte confirmed that he will appoint PNP Chief Ronald De La Rosa as head of the Bureau of Corrections when he finishes his tour of duty. De La Rosa will retire on January 21, 2018 when he reaches the mandatory retirement age of 56. But his new assignment will have to wait because the President intends to extend De La Rosa's term for another 3 months to perform additional tasks. Duterte made this confirmation during the Christmas party he tendered for the members of the Malacanang Press Corps Tuesday night. Special Assistant to Duterte, Secretary Christopher Bongo, also confirmed De La Rosa's impending designation. Bucor is presently headed by retired Police Chief Superintendent Valfri Tabian as officer in charge. According to the President, De La Rosa's task is mainly about infrastructure or physical setting of the police headquarters. President Rodrigo Duterte has ordered the abolition of the Presidential Commission for the Urban Poor, or the PCUP, for the junkets of its officials and their failure to perform their mandate as a collegial body. In a press briefing in Malacanang, presidential spokesman Harry Roque said the decision to abolish the PCUP proved beyond doubt that the president is very serious in his anti-corruption campaign. Roque said the reason of the president to abolish the PCUP is a failure of his officials to meet as a collegial body. According to Roque, the president also found out that the commissioners are notorious for junkets abroad. The current PCUP commissioners are former party list Representative Terry Ridon, Dr. Melissa Aradanas, Dr. Joan Lagunda, Manuel Serra, and Noe Idonto. The palace spokesman did not provide more details surrounding the abolition of the entire commission, saying that a written memorandum has not yet been issued. A key official of a French drug manufacturer accused of mass selling the Dengvaxia anti-dengue vaccine apologized for his company's issuance of a global advisory warning the public of the ill effects of the vaccine if administered to persons who have not yet been infected with the deadly mosquito-borne virus. Sanofi Pasteur Vice President for Asia and Pacific Thomas Triumph appeared before the joint panel and said that the firm regretted issuing a public statement informing countries about the effects of the vaccine. Triumph said he understands the parents' concerns and he is sorry for the confusion if the language used in the global advisory issued last November 29 caused misunderstanding. He explained that severe dengue term was used because they are a highly regulated industry and the term severe dengue was used in the clinical study. Severe dengue in medical language means the usual symptoms experienced by a dengue sufferer like fever and bleeding gums. In a press statement, Sanofi Pasteur strongly affirmed that it followed Philippine regulatory procedures when it entered into an agreement with the Department of Health to supply the agency with the anti-dengue vaccine Dengvaxia. The apology came after Sagip Party List Representative Rodante Marcoleta chided Triumph's firm for admitting issues against the vaccine belatedly. In related news, health reform advocates said that former President Benigno Aquino III should not be blamed for approving the purchase of the 3.5 billion peso anti-dengue vaccines from Sanofi Pasteur since he is just relying on experts' advice. Dr. Anthony Leachon said they find it unnecessary to question the Aquino government's decision to procure the Dengvaxia vaccines during his term, since he only acted on the country's dengue problem with a sense of urgency based on the recommendation of the Department of Health. Leachon said that the real problem lies in whether or not Aquino, then Health Secretary Janet Garin, and even the World Health Organization were fed the wrong information by the French pharmaceutical company. Dr. Antonio Danz, a scientist from the National Academy of Science and Technology, also pointed out that the main problem was bad science got mixed with politics. Because there is no adequate policy between politics and science, Danz recommended that the Food and Drug Administration be separated from the DOH and be made into an independent agency. French manufacturer Sanofi Pasteur reiterated that there is no question on the safety and efficacy of the drug, reiterating that it is still being used in 19 other countries. A would-be suicide bomber's rush hour blast in the heart of the New York City subway system failed to cause the bloodshed he intended, but it gave new fuel to the U.S. President Donald Trump's push to limit immigration. Hours after Monday's explosion in an underground passageway connecting two of Manhattan's busiest stations, Trump cited the background of the alleged bomber in renewing his call for closer scrutiny of foreigners who come to the country and less immigration based on family ties. The man arrested in the bombing, Akayed Ullah, told investigators he wanted to retaliate for American action against Islamic State extremists. Ullah came to the U.S. from Bangladesh in 2011 on a visa available to certain relatives of U.S. citizens. Ullah strapped on a crude pipe bomb with Velcro and plastic ties, slipped unnoticed into the New York's busiest subway system and set off the device. Authorities said that the device didn't work as intended and that the only person seriously wounded was Ullah. But the attack sent frightened commuters fleeing through a smoky passageway, and 3 people suffered headaches and ringing ears from the first bomb blast in the subway in more than 2 decades. Trump's administration has called for a merit-based immigration system that would limit family-based green cards to spouses and minor children. Ullah lived with his parents and a sibling in a Brooklyn neighborhood with a large Bangladeshi community. He was licensed to drive a livery cab between 2012 and 2015. Globe, together with Hook, a video-on-demand streaming service, formed an alliance to further intensify the campaign against piracy, #PlayItRight.
I think everything that we do here in Globe, whether it's for program, A Change in Process, or now hashtag Play It Right, stems from our inspiration of fulfilling our purpose, which is to treat other people right. And when you really look at it, combating illegal piracy on original content is a way of treating other people right, especially for those who develop the content, those who work on the content, whether you're part of the cast, the crew, the producers, the directors, or the conceptual team behind the content. Without this protection, then their livelihood is threatened, their future is threatened, and the way we're absorbing content is not in the right form as part of an honest ecosystem.
Through Hook, subscribers can now have a portal to stream and download their favorite movies legally, thus helping the movie industry.
The setmen, the utility people, they are the unsung heroes of filmmaking. Ito yung kabuhayan nila. Di sila kumikita ng kakainin ng pamilya nila pag uwi nila. Kasi arawan yan eh. Arawan ng bayad sa kanila eh. So, when a movie is pirated, walang income. Hindi lumalaki yung sweldo niya. And baka nga, hindi dumami yung magpo-produce ng pelikula. Lalo siya nawalan ng kabuhayan kasi wala mag-hire sa kanya. Their hard work deserves respect. Kaya we encourage everybody to play movies from legitimate sources only. Kaya nga, play it right.
To continue the campaign of Play It Right and reel in consumers to legally watch movies, Globe and Hook are featuring the popular Filipino film, Die Beautiful. Die Beautiful is a Filipino comedy drama directed by June Robles Lana and produced by the Idea First Company and Regal Entertainment Incorporated. It stars Paulo Ballesteros as Trisha Echevarria, who is dreaming to find love and to be a beauty queen. Her sidekick Barbs, played by Christian Bables, shows us what being a real bestie is all about. The film debuted at the 29th Tokyo International Film Festival and was an official entry to the 2016 Metro Manila Film Festival.
So Hook is actually working with top local studios as well as independent filmmakers in order to bring the best quality Filipino content to the Hook library, especially those fresh from the cinemas, which is one of the reasons that Die Beautiful is there. For those people who miss it at the cinema, they can actually watch it on Hook immediately after.
With Hook, subscribers can also reminisce with classic films and also be updated with the latest hit movies or television series.
Actually, at Globe at Home, what we are aiming for is really to provide first world internet here in the Philippines. And we're doing that one city at a time. And come with the first world internet is really first world entertainment. That's why we have partnered with content providers that are world-class. So through these providers, we're giving access to our customers to entertainment that they can watch anytime that they want, so that anytime is really prime time. And they can binge watch, they could do streaming, and they could enjoy a different kind of entertainment at their homes.
So guys, play it right now on Hook with a Globe at Home plan. To know more details about subscribing to Hook, log on to shop.globe.com.ph/broadband. Star Wars The Last Jedi won warm reviews from most critics. The sci-fi saga begins hitting the movie theaters worldwide in what is projected to be the biggest grossing movie of 2017. The Walt Disney Company movie received 4 or 5 stars from most reviewers, along with praise for its energy and emotion. The film picks up from 2015 Star Wars The Force Awakens, which took in more than $2 billion at the global box office to become the 3rd biggest grossing movie of all time. Written and directed by Rian Johnson, The Last Jedi kicks off with the Resistance fighting Supreme Leader Snoke's First Order, which is trying to take control of the galaxy. Numerous critics, including The Hollywood Reporter, felt that at 2 to 1.5 hours of running time, the movie was a little too long. But The Hollywood Reporter added that there's a pervasive freshness and enthusiasm to Johnson's approach that keeps the film. The London Times newspaper deemed it the best Star Wars movie yet, calling it a film of wit and wonder, of eye-gouging visual spectacle, and one that is buttressed by entirely unexpected and frequently devastating emotional power. Entertainment Weekly said The Last Jedi was a triumph with flaws, while USA Today said it was a stellar entry in the Star Wars franchise. The Washington Post, on the other hand, praised the film's irreverent humor and worshipful love for the original text. Variety was among a handful of less enthusiastic reviews, calling the film ultimately a disappointment. CNN said Last Jedi felt like a significant letdown, one that does far less than its predecessor to stoke enthusiasm for the next leg in the trilogy. Disney said in November that Johnson will oversee a new trilogy of Star Wars films that will not follow the Skywalker saga, which George Lucas kicked off back in 1977. Season's greetings also mean it's the season of eating. Families and friends gather around a festive spread, truly making it the most wonderful time of the year. Manila Bulletin's food and beverage website, M-Bites, will mark each day of the Simbang Gabi or Misa de Gallo with a Filipino Christmas recipe leading up to the Noche Buena. You can catch all the recipes and take down notes starting today by logging on to the M-Bites website and their official Facebook page found right here. And for this week's thought to ponder on: every gift which is given, even though it may be small, is in reality great if it is given with affection, and that is by Greek poet Pindar. And that's it for this week's edition of the MB Rundown. I'm Nicole Cordoves. Have a great weekend and happy holidays.